Hello everyone, it's Perry. We're back again. I have a pick a card reading for everyone today. I have 3 different items here. So what this reading is going to be focused on today is I was meditating and Spirit was talking to me a little bit about the grief process and things that are going on right now on our planet, and all the different things that us as light workers, or even just as humanity in a whole, that we are trying to, the energies that we're trying to move through and process. Grief is a hard thing. And if you haven't really experienced it completely with losing somebody very, very close to you, it can be really hard. And as we know, things that are going on right now, people are passing, and there are going to be family members that maybe you're not going to be able to ever see again. And the biggest thing right now is that Spirit wants to talk about is that as light workers and people who are awakened on this planet right now, we need to be trying to process that grief. That doesn't mean you have to try to hurry yourself through it. There's no time limit. But Spirit is asking that if we can process things as quickly and simply as possible, so we can move through that, so we can be ready to move forward to the work that they know that needs to be done on this planet. So first of all, so we have 3 piles here. I have chosen 3 different little trinkets here. I have a feather, and I grabbed the feather because my son actually passed away about 7 years ago, and feathers are what he shows me when he is trying to get a message across to me, or just to remind me that he's there and that he supports me in the things that I do. So that's why I picked the feather. And I also have a pendulum here that is just a chakra. Has different colors of the chakras on it. If that resonates to you, then that's going to be pile number 2. And the third thing I have here is a star. So if the star is something that resonates with you, then you're going to pick number 3. I will be putting timestamps on when each one of these readings are in this video. So take a look at that. I'll put them below. So if you want to just skip to your point of the video of the pile that you picked, that's great. If not, you can watch the whole thing, and more than likely there's going to be more than just one message for you. As always, if it resonates with you, then this reading's for you. If not, if you start listening, you're like, none of this even sounds remotely close to my life experience, then that's okay. Turn it off. Go to another video. Find a reader that you feel like you resonate with and that is honing in on your energies also. That's also very important when you're choosing what videos to watch on YouTube. At least personally, that's what I've always done. So I also have, so we have 1, 2, and 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 3 main cards from one deck, and then I'll come back through with another deck and pull some clarifying cards so we can make sure that we are all on the same page with what Spirit's trying to let us know. Before I turned on the camera, I had picked my little items here, and then for each one of those, I asked Spirit to give me a card from my crystal mandala deck, and that is just going to kind of give us an overall energy of what the energies are with each group, with which item you pick. So we're going to start with group number 1, and we have the feather. So if you chose group number 1 and you chose the feather, then the card that we're using as an overall energy that came out is Goddess Isis and Isis Crystal. She shall always prevail. So if you want to look at that card, it's really pretty. To me, this is saying, trust your gut. You'll always prevail. In other words, you're on the right path. You may be questioning yourself. You may be wondering what's happening or how you feel like you're going to be moving through these energies, and you may be, not real comfortable with yourself and being able to process all these things at once. And that's why we're here, is so we can try and figure out some things that we can do to help us process through these times. So, and it's not just grief of somebody dying or passing. To be honest, I'm grieving 2 jobs right now. So life right now has changed from what we used to know it, and very quickly, in a period of a couple of months, we are living completely differently. All of us are. And so let's just move on from here. You could have grief for many reasons, but the point is we need to move through those things, process those things, so we can then bring positive things and help to raise the consciousness of the planet and the vibration of the planet, so we are able to level up and to do those things we can't. All those, so a lot of those energies are lower frequencies, and when you have those lower frequencies that you keep sending out, it's bringing the collective down. So what we can do to keep your light shining through all these tough times is what we're looking at. So today I decided I'm gonna do get the card, shuffle the cards. I've shuffled all my cards and I've blessed all my cards ahead of time, but I was going to pull each card while I'm on the camera, and we'll see how long it's going to take. I'm going to get 3 cards, so I'm going to ask Spirit to give me 3 pretty obvious cards. Sometimes I'm not the best shuffler, so it gets messy, and we'll just see how it goes. All right, Spirit. We just like some overall energies for people who might be grieving on the planet right now for this upcoming week. And so we're looking at April 27th through May 3rd. And we've got 2 cards that popped out already. Oh, actually, it's more than that. I asked for 3. Let's see if it's 3. And it's exactly 3. Perfect. So we have 7 of Wands. We have, which I'm going to turn it right side up. I usually don't read reversals, just so you know. Spirit usually tells me with the cards exactly what they need to, and if there's a reversal that I feel like is pertinent and Spirit says, okay, I'd like you to read it as a reversal, then I'll leave it. But we have King of Swords here. That's great. Let's see. Oh, 8 of Swords. So I always see this card and go, but we're talking about grief right now. We're talking about moving through things. This card right here actually is very pertinent to what we're talking about. Looking stuck. We also have the King of Swords here. So what I'm feeling is that this group of people who are trying to move through some grief, who are maybe empathic or light workers or starseeds, we have a lot of things coming into their lives that are changing. And what I'm going to do right now actually is get my next deck, and I'm going to get some clarifying cards here. So I'm going to give it a couple shuffles, and we'll ask for a card to kind of clarify our 7 of Wands here. I think every tarot card reader has some of their favorite cards out of decks. So it just is one of those things where sometimes you see a card and you're like, oh, that's not one of my favorite cards. And that would be the 8 of Swords for me. So let's ask Spirit to give us a card for a clarification of what the 7 of Wands is doing here. I'd like to see what we can do to be able to move through some of these energies. So Spirit, if you could help clarify for us some things that maybe we could be doing to process some of these feelings, that would be great. So we are looking for 1 card right now, Spirit. Sorry. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Just bear with me. I'll get better over time, I promise. I do readings, but that one was going to flip over and I stopped it, so I'm leaving it out, or I'm pulling it because I feel like that's what Spirit would like me to look at here. So 7 of Wands is clarified by the Empress. So to me, that goes along with this feminine energy that was here. possibly you lost somebody who was a feminine energy in your life. Perhaps you are the feminine that has lost somebody. In any case, what this shows me is that there's strife going on and hard things happening in your life. But when this Empress comes out, that lets me know that you are able and willing to process these things so you can move into your state of being the Empress and the energies that a divine feminine bring to a relationship, bring to the collective. Everybody has within them divine masculine and divine feminine. Most of the times, one or the other will be more prominent for their soul. Just because you are masculine or feminine in your soul does not mean that your body matches that. Just so you know, you can have a feminine body and be divine masculine. You can have a male body and be divine feminine. Either way is fine. It's how you chose to come into this world and be able to move through it. So, just a little explanation on that. So this is good. This is letting me know that this person is going to be able to process these things. And I believe that it's going to be in a timely manner. So they are able to do more of their light work that they need to be doing here at this moment in time. So I'm going to get another card here for the King of Swords. Let's go ahead and get a clarifier for that. Oh, thank you, Spirit. That's what I like to see. Ooh, this is really pretty. Three of Cups. Sorry, I'm not used to this deck, so I had to, and the writing on it is really small, so, but it's beautiful, beautiful card. Look at that. Wow. When I look at this, I'm just feeling like this, very flowy energy. Relaxing. I'm feeling like, whatever group this is, and if this is resonating with you, you've been doing a lot of meditation. You've been doing maybe even some like art therapy type things, painting, things to try and help you move through and process all of these feelings of loss that you're trying to deal with. Keep doing it. Like if you are being creative right now and you're feeling called to do that, keep doing that. It's going to help you process all of this. That's wonderful. And then this last one here is going to be the Eight of Swords, which is, like I said, happens to be not one of my favorite cards, but I think Spirit's telling me I need to learn to like this card. That's what they just said. Okay, so let's get one clarifying card for our Eight of Swords here. Just need one more card here, Spirit, from this deck for a clarifier. More came out, but when that happens, sometimes I'll just take the top one. Spirit and I know that, so that's how we communicate. And this energy here for clarifying in this, that makes sense to me, for the Eight of Swords is the Hanged Man. So, and I just looked down, so Temperance popped up. Whenever a card kind of shows itself, I always want to take a look and see if it's adding to whatever energies I'm reading at the time. So, so the Hanged Man. So what this is telling me is that you're going to need to be processing through some of these things so we can move out of this space. If you can't process some of these things, you're gonna kind of be stuck there for a while. So if you don't like the way you're feeling on the inside and you'd like to move through it, you're going to need to start moving on who you are, moving on your truth, moving on being authentic and going through this world authentically with the things you believe. Shine your light. My goodness, you got to shine. And if you shine, then all the people around you will feel that. Once they feel that, also will help you move through your own grief with whatever the situation may be, whether it's one or your job or your home or your pet, anything. So in the grand scheme of things, what I'm seeing here for this group is we have a divine feminine here who really needs to process through a lot of these feelings. I was going to do for each group was pull one of my oracle cards for kind of a like an action step. What's something we can do from people in this group as an action step to be able to help us process these things. So let's look and see. Oh, this is funny because I just did a reading the other day and this exact same card came out. And it is let the emotions flow. And this card always gets me because she has like waterfalls coming from her eyes and her mouth. And it just makes me think about how much water comes out of a waterfall. And if we need to let our emotions flow, that means we got to let those out. Whether that's crying, whether that's, that maybe it has to do with being close to nature and being close to water and being able to connect to the earth to be able to help you process some of these energies. Actually, I that's exactly what it is. Sorry. Spirit was just like, nope, that's it. Take some time, go for a hike, find a river, go sit next to it, meditate, work on maybe clearing out some of your chakras, if you feel like you have any blockages. If you need to find somebody who can help you with those blockages, do that. Sometimes that's needed. So anyway, I hope that was helpful to whoever picked pile number 1. That was the feather. And I'm going to set this deck over here, and we will move these cards out of the way because we are going to move on to the second pile. And I'm going to keep I'm going to keep these cards out. I'm not going to pull them back, put them back into these decks. Kind of feel like Spirit's telling me, you've used them, I don't need them now. So we will leave it at that. Just moving those out of the way, I'll put them all back when I'm done. All right, so I'm just put my little feather here. So we're gonna go with pile number 2 now, which was the pendulum. And I'm gonna set that right here, and we will look at the card that I had drawn out beforehand to kind of give us an overall energy for group number 2. Let's see what we have. Ascended Master Elmoira in the Blue Star Sapphire. And it says higher will. So that to me just says we need to be listening to divine and what divine wants lives and wants us to accomplish and do. Sorry, I'll fix this. And that we need to get out of our own way which has a lot to do with emotions. And processing those, but we need to get out of our own way to be able to do the work that divine needs us to be doing right now. So get rid of your ego, put that aside. Don't worry about what people think of you, what people are going to say. Just do what you know Spirit needs you to do. So let's see what messages we have for group number 2 here. I'm going back to my Gilded Tarot deck that I love so much, and we will ask Spirit for 3 cards. And this is going to be for group number 2 with the pendulum and their grief processes and how they might be feeling about something that they're grieving right now. We'd like some helpful hints on how to move through this. So just need 3 cards here, Spirit. I'm just trying to get to I feel like I'm not on the right frequency pile, so I'm going to just give me a minute. We'll connect with my guides here and see what she can do to help us out here. Give me 3 cards. All right. Listening. All right. Sorry, she's just saying take from the top, so we'll do it. I'm not going to read reversals. Okay, so what we have here is a 7 of Swords, the Justice card, and the Five of Wands. So, obviously okay, so I'm doing readings on grief. We understand that there's going to be strife, there's going to be turmoil, there's going to be energies crossing, and that's kind of what these cards are showing us. It's kind of like cards come out and I'm like, okay, duh. Somebody's grieving. Yes, this is how we're going to be feeling. They're kind of feeling like life's not fair right now. This is not something that they're enjoying. They were like, my life was a certain way. You just took everything out from underneath me, and now I'm trying to pick things up. I'm trying to, this is good. I'm trying to carry my burdens as much as I can, but I don't have enough hands. So we see down here, I'm seeing swords down on the ground, which lets me know that this group is working very, very hard to try and process things. Please don't force it. I know you want to be able to, and I said earlier, we need to be able to move through this as quickly as possible so we can help the planet level up. But you know what? This is your own timing too, and a lot of this is divine timing. So this group right here, Spirit's saying to me that they're having grief and strife, and what all they want is they really just want justice. They want to be able to, bottom of the deck was a Lover, so that's great. Oh, I'm sorry, I just realized I'm going to set this here because I'm starting to wonder now if this may be a group of people who have lost their love. I mean, like their either soulmate or twin flame, and they weren't expecting them to pass, and they have passed. This is a tough one, guys. And I know I said earlier that my son passed 7 years ago. It's been 5 years ago now that my fiance that I had also passed. So within a period of 2 years, I lost my son and I lost my fiance. And so that's kind of one of the things that has led me to do this reading also. Because I know it's taken me years and I still am processing all of it. So my hope is that we weren't going to take that long for everybody else to process these kinds of things. But, sometimes it takes that amount of time. And if this is you and you have lost that person, I'm so sorry. But what I can tell you is the universe always has a plan. And you will move through this. It's not easy, but I will promise you that there'll be a day where you're like, oh, I can breathe again. I don't know when that will be, but you will be able to. So I'm going back to my deck here to get some clarifying cards. And we're going to clarify the Seven of Swords. I was going to say I don't know that I need to, but I'm going to anyway, just for fun. Seven of Swords. Okay, Spirit, if we could get a clarifying card to try and move through the Seven of Swords energy for this group that is dealing with grief right now. Would be great. So just one card. Take it. Let's see. Two of Swords. More swords. Swords can represent passion. They can also represent just some very quick, decisive energy. And balance. That's what this card is saying. This Seven of Swords, that you're carrying all these swords and you can't even hold them all. You have so much going on. You can't even carry them all. You've left a couple behind. The Two of Swords is kind of saying that you're going to be able to be able to let like these 5 go, and you'll have these 2 left. And those 2 you'll be able to handle. So you need to be releasing things right now. You need to be letting go some of these negative feelings and emotions and releasing all of that. So let's move on to Justice and see what that has to say for us. Just need one card here to be able to do that. Spirit, I'd like one card to clarify the Justice card here. Let us know what you want us to know about the Justice card. Besides, I know everybody would like justice for not good. You want to be able to have things equaled out. Somebody has lost their partner. They would like justice for that. And if that is the case, like somebody, like something bad happened to that person, and either, I don't like going down this road, but either somebody was killed or murdered or something like that, there will be justice. There's strife, and it's going to be a difficult thing to move through, but there will be justice in the end. I promise you that. Whether that's here on Earth or after that, I'm not sure, but it will happen. So also, let's get one card here. Sorry, got distracted. Whoa, not taking those because this one popped. Oh, we have two here. Let's go ahead and take the two. That's fine. We have a 6 of Cups. Sorry, I like cups. Cups are like love and passion and lots of good stuff. And a Queen of Swords. So that lets me know, we've got swords, swords, swords. I'm feeling like this group, maybe there's somebody, it could just be 1 or 2 people out there who has lost either their soulmate or their twin flame very, very recently. It was the divine masculine who they lost. And as a divine feminine, they're trying to find themselves again and trying to find their strength. And they're trying to figure out how they're going to have strength to be able to live the rest of this life without the person that they thought was theirs. And I think it's that divine masculine actually needs to be on the other side during this time to be able to help facilitate you to do your own work here. If you get in your own way, or they're a relationship, or even if they're your twin flame or your soulmate, if it's keeping you from doing your light work, then Divine's going to do something to push you in the direction of doing your light work, because that's what needs to be happening right now. So we're going to go to 5 of Wands here. We're going to get a clarifying card. That was Spouse's very first one. Thank you, Spirit. Didn't even have to ask. Let's see. Knight of Swords. Sword, lots of swords. Swords, swords, swords. So, sorry, that was a clarifying card for this one. I had just pulled this out because I had seen it at the bottom of the deck. Trust in divine, trust in spirit, trust your gut. If you're empathic, you have good intuition, trust what your gut's telling you, because that's divine. That's your soul. That's your essence telling you what direction you need to head. So trust that. Trust divine, and we are going to get an oracle card to be able to see if we can give you an action step that maybe you can take if you're in a pendulum group to help you move through some of these energies so you can work on doing your light work. So we'll get one card here. We just want one. Please, Spirit, for an action step for this group. You just give me one card here, Spirit. That would be great. Oh, perfect. I'm going to take the one that flipped up on the top. That's what I usually do. I like this card too, though. We'll just look at it. Let go of the old. Okay, I'm going to take them both because Spirit said take them both. And obviously it makes sense. So we need to let go of the old. And the other one would be, it's share your thoughts. So you need to be talking to people. You need to be able to have conversations with people, whether that's about how you're feeling about losing somebody or losing your job or losing your home, whatever the case may be. You need to share your feelings. You need to talk to people, which is kind of hard, as we know these days. But what I found is when I have gone out now, is people who would have never spoken to me before are talking to me now. Because everybody, I feel like, is at such a lack for human companionship at the moment that, like, people who would never talk before are talking. That, to me, is huge. That's a change that we are seeing now that we weren't seeing before. And I think it's because as a collective, we're helping the planet and helping the rest of the humans that are here to be able to see the love that's in humans. And if we're able to feel love and emotion on this planet, it's part of the reason why we chose to come to this planet, so we could learn what it was like and feel what it was like to have the kind of emotions that a human being has. So anyways, great reading. I feel like I hope some of that helped you. I'm hoping that some of this is going to help you to be able to move through some of this grief process. Talk to people, trust your gut, and let go of the old. So let go of things that don't serve you and move through it. All right, so we're going to move on to pile 3 now. We have a blue star here. So if you chose the 3rd pile with the star, because it resonated with you for some reason, the card that we have here from the Crystal Mandala Oracle that I have is Goddess, sorry, it's hard to say this, Sarawatsi, I think, and Ammonite. And it says from world to world. So for me, this means communication from spirit, or the spirit realm to us. We have our star here. For whatever reason why you chose this pile, whether it was just the shape of the star or like this was yours. We're going to be doing some communication with divine. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit here. We're going to ask for 3 cards, see what kind of energies we're working with to be able to, if we can move through some of this grief, what we can do to be able to do that. So shuffle, and we will get some cards out and we'll see what's going on. All right. So Spirit, I need to get 3 cards. Whether it's 3 at once or 1 at a time, that's fine. But just make it clear and concise for us so we know that we're getting the messages that you really want to come through. There's 1. I haven't looked at it yet, so we need 2 more, Spirit. Thank you. 2 more, please. There's 1 more, and now we need 1 more. One more, Spirit. Ah! We got 2 more. I'm just going to look and see what they are. But we will take a look at these first because this is the first one out. We have a 6 of Cups. Yay! Happy cards. Ooh, Knight of Pentacles. I like that. And we have 6 of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. I think these I'm going to leave together, but I'm going to get a clarifying, like 1 clarifying card. I'm going to kind of read it as 1 card, is what Spirit's telling me for some reason. So that's what we will do. And we will get some clarifying card for a 6 of Cups here. We already know from our beginning card that we need to be speaking with divine. It doesn't even have to be divine. It could be that you're lost, if you lost a loved one, has been communicating with you also. And that's always great. There's 1 card, which we needed. We are getting a card for the 6 of Cups, which gives us the King of Pentacles. That's great. We have a couple of Pentacles here. Pentacles are usually finances. So whether it's you lost somebody or your home or your job, well, okay. This may be the people who are more in the boat of losing their job or their home is what I'm feeling. Not necessarily a loved one. And that's mainly because of the Pentacles that I'm seeing, because that's more relating to like work on this earth, like actual physical labor and things like that, and making the money and doing all those things. But there's this energy of the King of Pentacles here, which means that you are going to be able to overcome this. We are going to be able to process these things, and when we are able to process them, we are going to come out on top. We will be the ones who will be able to help other people move through their grief. If we if we process all these things and we're able to go through it, then when somebody else has to go through it, it's easier for us to help them. We are going to look at a clarifier for the Knight of Pentacles. Let's go ahead and ask Spirit for a card for that. Clarifier for the Knight of Pentacles for this group. Doing the group reading kind of for a collective of for people who are grieving. So, and I would say anybody that's grieving, but a lot of them are going to be light workers also, or empaths or starseeds. So let's look and see. We have a couple cards that came out for the Knight of Pentacles. To clarify, we have the Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings. New beginnings in finances and jobs. That's great. And Five of Pentacles, so more pentacles. Ah, okay. Sorry. I just realized Spirit's trying to tell us here that from world to world, this is our group of people who may have lost their jobs and who are grieving that and who maybe don't really know what to do right now. And maybe you are a light worker. Maybe you're somebody who has always said, oh, I've always wanted to do that. Or I think I could do this work. Or you're a healer. Or you've always wanted to study Reiki or anything like that. This group right here, this reading is telling you, do it. Go for it. You have a new career, a new beginning that's going to be happening, and you're going to be able to move that through that and learn from that and be able to prosper and thrive. You will have a new way of living. You more than likely probably won't be going to a 9-to-5 job every day anymore. You will probably be figuring out how to be able to work from home and be a light worker and help the planet and help everybody to be able to level up through that process. So let's look at our Six of Pentacles here and then our Knight of Wands. We have a clarifying, hopefully one clarifying card for this. I just, sometimes Spirit just says, okay, I sent you two for a reason, and I take them, but let's get one clarifying card. We're going to use the, and earlier when I said that I felt like I was going to read these together, mainly that's because of the Knight of Wands energy here and the Pentacles together. And then we also had the King that we had over here. It's just showing me that there's forward movement in this process. You guys are moving forward. You're not stuck quite as much, I feel like, as the last couple of groups, because it's not, yes, it's a big deal. It's a big deal that you lost your job, or it's a big deal that you lost the place that you're going to live, or maybe even a loved one. But this group is going to be able to move through it and process it a little quicker than the other two groups. So if you picked group 3, that's good. Well, if you picked any group, I don't know that it's good because you're grieving. But I think there's been pretty significant message in all 3 of them. So let's go ahead and get this one card here, Spirit, for us to be able to have clarifying cards on these 2. This one card. Be patient. At least I try to be patient. One more card here. Okay, Spirit. Give me one card as a clarifier. Or are you just trying to tell me I don't need a clarifier because you already gave me 2 cards? You could be doing that too. Let's see. Alright, let's see what we got here. 7 of Swords, which we also saw in another reading earlier as group 1 maybe. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the picture on this one just because we have this bird that's flying up out of the swords. Oh, I know what it was. It was the last reading that we had, the 7 of Swords, and on that 7 of Swords, the there was a person holding 5 swords and then left 2 swords behind them. It was because there was so much burden that they couldn't carry them all at once. And so I think that's what part of what you're feeling right now is just a ton of burden. And how am I gonna do all of these things when the world that we're living in right now is so completely foreign to what we're used to, being able to live, like how we earn money, who we spend time with, all of those things. So the last thing I'm going to do here, to me, this is a really good reading. This is letting us know that the people are going to be able to move on and find a new way of living, and one that is going to be, I believe, is going to be way more productive and helpful for their soul growth. The last thing I'm going to ask Spirit for this group is to give us one card out of my Oracle deck, kind of as a action step. What can we do to help move through these energies, to help us raise the vibration of this planet right now at this time? It's almost the beginning of May. We're at the end of April. But as always, I'd like to say that the readings are timeless. If you are moving through grief, or you've had some sort of grief process that you're going through, and you're really just trying to find maybe some ideas and answers on how to get through that, you can do that at any time. It doesn't have to be this specific week. I just am doing it now just because of everything that's happening. So let's go ahead and get one card here for an action step. Spirit, if you can give us one of those, that would be great. If you can make it clear and concise, that would be amazing for me right now. One more here. Oh, that's okay. 2. We'll give you 2. That's fine. So some things that we can do if you picked the star and you're in group 3. Some things that we can do for action steps is, embrace the dark. Sometimes when we're going through grief and hard times, especially for me, just knowing that I'm a light worker, I don't necessarily like to go over to that dark side. But there's some shadow work in here that you need to be working on. Card behind it is going to tell us a little bit more about what that shadow work might be. I don't know. Let me see what it says. Ooh, honor Gaia. So in other words, this is the group that needs to be, these are the light workers that need to be working that aren't working. So if you have ever thought that you need to be doing spiritual work, that you need to help people grow, that you maybe understand a little bit more than the average person about what's happening, however those things come to you, or whatever gifts you have, hone in on those. You need to use them. You need to find whatever has happened in your past that has caused you maybe to hold back in some areas. You need to be able to hone in on those things and be able to release them and let them go, so you can make room for honoring Gaia. So I hope it's helpful. And I know we had 3 different piles here. I hope that whatever pile you picked resonated with you. And if it did, let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to see any other kind of reading, or you would like me to do a different setup, or anything that you know, feel free to comment. And if you enjoyed the video and you got something from it, or you know somebody who might, go ahead and like, share. If you could subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. But again, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.